Hey guys, how you doing? All right, let's get into this. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be going over a game. It's the 10th game for Wesley So in the Candidates Tournament. One second. Sorry about that. And this is he was facing Ding Lauren, and so Wesley's black and Ding is white, and so we were gonna go over that. And I thought I could have like a Wesley marathon of all of his games that we're gonna go over. Even if I've gone over some of them, we'll go over all of the candidate games for Wesley So, and then I'll move on to each one of the candidates and we'll go over their games, even if I've gone over them before, so that we can kind of see how they played and we can go over and learn from their games, the losses and the wins, so it doesn't matter. Just one second, I'm gonna get a drink of soda. Much better. Sometimes I just need a little soda, it helps. Okay, so Ding is white and Wesley is black. Ding played d4, d5, and e6, which is the Queen's Gambit. So Wesley decided to decline the gambit. Doing the gambit would be here, and then what you would do at that point is he'd push the pawn, and then you can actually push back. Knight comes in, and then bishop check. This is actually the standard acceptance. Queen takes, takes, and then knight, and then there we go. And with the push there, here, and bishop takes at that point, and then you play and you can castle, right? This is basically the line right here. And after this, this is the line of all the way to move 10, which is the into the opening. So, but he did the decline variation, which is E. And then if you wanted to, there's also, if you take here, it takes back. And now what happens is the knight comes in, and you have to be very careful because bishop does if he can't take here, so he has to play there. If you notice, then C, it's guarded. This is guarded. Now you have kind of a very interesting London kind of setup. If you notice, you have this structure with the bishop outside, and you have, but the only difference is there is no c3 pawn. That would be the Madison attack if there was a pawn here and something like that. So, and then that would arise, and then you'd have there to stop all that. So, but that's on a side note. So, bishop moves, and knight comes in, and then castles. So now we'll get to the middle game, and then we'll take one second, I gotta drink soda. Okay. We'll take kind of count on the imbalances too. We'll get to I know you're kind of wondering, why did Wesley allow the pawn to be taken here? Because the real line was be actually sorry about that. Rook A8. Now you get here, and then you have a check. And if he tries to intercept here, you just take right on in there. And so now, if Wesley would have played the rook over rather than the queen, like that, it would have arisen into the main line, as the computer would say, probably from a game. I don't really know the game, but it would have arisen from a game. Excuse me, sorry about that. Don't mean to cough into the mic. Okay, rook F, king F1. So Ding now can't castle. So you have to be careful when you grab a pawn. Is it worth grabbing that pawn? He lost the ability to castle. So let's go back. Let's say he plays there, right? What if Ding would have just castled? And then bishop comes here. Bishop takes, and now his king's safe, and he can plan for a long, drawn-out trench kind of warfare kind of situation. But because of going for the pawn, it costed his king castling right. So you just got to be very careful when you kind of get you get pawn grubber like. Just be very careful that it doesn't cost you your castling rights sometimes. Okay. So Ding goes h4. He's trying to lash out because he's got a rook behind this pawn, and a knight, and then a bishop. A bishop's coming. So potentially he could have a kingside attack like in the London system that it's well known for, pushing Harry. So now the bishop comes back, and now all the pieces, if you're thinking about it, for Ding are honing down. Are honing down on Wesley So's king side. So this is not looking too peachy for So, because of look, this bishop's here, bishop, knight, rook, queen can come in, and easily this rook could slide over after something like right here up. This rook could slide over in support. So pretty big attack going. So he's trying to make some room, get his rooks to their most powerful spots, which interesting. That is interesting. Why didn't he play there? I kinda like that idea, but it's actually still equal. So Ding did basically a similar move anyways that would have happened. So now let's take scope on the position. Let's stop right here. That choice that Wesley decided to do of giving up his light squared bishop for the knight was an imbalance, as Jeremy Silma would say. The imbalance is two bishops versus a knight and a bishop, but if you notice, it's close. Wesley has more central control. And so, and if you think about it, Ding is playing kind of without a rook at this moment. His rook's offside. It is doing a job of threatening to push this pawn down the board, but you have to just be very, very wise when you deal in that type of stuff. So there, takes, pawn takes, queen takes, and takes. So now, zero position. It's going to end up becoming a draw because there's no real infiltration points for anything. It's very symmetrical. Not symmetrical, sorry. The center's closed, somewhat closed, and there Wesley's rooks are more active, and even when he plays there, let's see, trades. You trade here. Hey, how you doing? And then you play here, and this is actually kind of what would be a drawish as well. This is very, it's actually better for black, but because of this here. So there's one difference that black has over white. and now it's better for because white has passed the opposition here. Remember what we talked about? Which pawn for for Wesley is the candidate pawn? The H pawn, because the candidate pawns, if they're like this, there wouldn't be a candidate pawn. The candidate pawn for a majority is always the pawn that doesn't have a pawn in front of it. That's what my teacher told me. That's what Maurice Ashley said, and it is Maurice Ashley teaches chess that that's how you can tell which one you want to push first. Is if you want to get a passed pawn, which one of the pawns doesn't have a pawn in front of it like this, and it would be your H pawn. So the H pawn eventually, if something's like this, and then let's say here, that's gonna end up becoming a passer. Do you see that? The candidate file. Okay, well we'll go back to takes. So basically, it's drawn position. So takes check and takes. And so if Ding slides over and takes, which is what he does, he takes. Pawn push. And at this point, they agreed to a draw. There's no real reason to continue onward in the play. So this was a draw. It was a very solid game. And so now we'll start into our puzzles. Let's start chomping away at the puzzles. Okay, dokie. Okay, I believe we can actually win the knight with knight to g3. That attacks the queen, undiscovers an attack. So if we want to, if we're looking at these puzzles for tactics, the tactic that we have played is something called a discovery, because the rook discovers an attack on the knight, and it also attacks the queen. So indirectly, we have something called a discovery. Boom, once the knight moves, and a double attack because the two pieces are under fire. When the knight goes to g3, the knight's attacking the queen on h5, and the rook's attacking the knight on e5. This is all taken away from the queen, so she can't defend once the knight moves here. And the knight takes away these two squares, so the queen's going to have to retreat out here after this move, and we win the knight. So we actually win the knight. And that's the move. Oh, we gotta be careful here. Let's see. So if we take, I think we still are fine because we can just move. Yeah, we just take the knight. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, let me see. What did I... What? Oh! That was my fault. I missed that. I would have missed the drat. That would have gotten taken. So first you take here, and then after rook takes, you take there. Okay. We'll go for that. Send it. You have to walk through, yeah. Okay, let's see here. Okie dokie. Let's see what we got. Ooh, this is a pretty big endgame. All the way to 6 to 70 moves. Nice. So we're looking at it from Khan's side of the board. Okay. Yeah. So let's see here. The Caro-Kann. He could have done the advanced variation, which is the only reason the advanced variation is bad is it surrenders this file, so the bishop can come there, and then if you try, like, we'll say knight here, he just locks it down, and then you kind of have that. So that's the only reason that's the advanced variation line. So rather than Khan didn't play that one. So he took. Okay, so alright, so it's basically they have equal development at this point. So f3 was played. Upon f3, the bishop goes to h5 and rook e2, and now we're trying to get our knight to g3 and potentially g3, and really, let me see, I don't know if that actually gets us anything, because he could just go back there. No, because if we take, he just takes and he has this open, so yeah, e6, there we go. So Salmon's are Salmon actually has a really good bishop now. So both his bishops are really well placed. Because this one's going to come here and trade off for that. This is actually his active bad bishop, so kind of a very, if you notice, this is kind of a London kind of move. I always think of that as kind of a London type of play. The bishop retreats back for g3, so that the potential of taking allows for this. Then the bishop moves, and then that's kind of played. And so he kind of gets a weak point, something like that, and maybe potentially he has a infiltration 2 point there, so more likely he's going to have to play there. And you have something, to hold this pawn. Castle kingside, and then a5 potentially is an idea. Or maybe not worried about a5, just take a5 out. And castles potentially might be better. And at this point, you can sometimes just move your king. I've seen that b1's a good move. I know it's like, wait, didn't you just waste a move? Does not allow that. Yeah, but if you think about it, now the king's off of this file, which I've had many problems with the rook ending up there. Let's see, what would happen if you brought the bishop back and took the knight also? I don't understand what bishop back. It took the knight, attacking the bishop. Oh. Oh, I gotcha. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I gotcha. After, I see what you're saying. I see, right here. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I gotcha. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Gotcha, king. Well, one second. Sorry. The idea behind this move is more of it has a French kind of backdrop to it, which is when you take the pawn, you free up this open file. And I can see what you're saying. And I also thought about that, but when the bishop moves here and then you take, and then the pawn takes. Now this this rook dominates that file. And also the knight has really no points to infiltrate into, except it would have to go back. So the idea is it's not a bad idea. I mean, that's not a good idea. It's just that it's a one move idea, and my teacher that was a grandmaster taught me that what the problem is, you have to have grandmasters see like 2 to 3 all the way up to like 4 or 5. One time I asked him how many does a a master see. He's if I'm mistaken, I haven't trained with him in forever, so not forever, but for a long time. He told me that to begin with, a good idea has 2 moves. Grandmasters can see like 2 ideas. They can see all the way up to like 7, 8, 9 different ideas. At one, their moves have like 9 different type of move ideas behind them. The further you go up in your rating and understanding in chess, the more ideas your moves will have behind them, which means that it's harder for your opponent to react to the move that you play. And so once that excuse me, the idea of taking here attacks the bishop. Also, when the bishop moves back, I should have explained, this allows for our bishop to take. Therefore, the only take that the pawn could do is away from the center, which weakens this point here. So the idea is we get to control the file that would have been opened by us trading. We get to control it. We also get to weaken e6. So it has a multitude of different ideas. It allows us to dominate the H file, weaken e6, and also later on put pressure on, and then castle kingside, and we're the one that's attacking. Yeah, that's crazy, I know. Yeah, that's just those are just the ideas that he taught me. So you know what, he was a really stellar chess player. He actually took he won the state of Nevada. So that was, and Nevada has 2 districts, the north and the south, and then those 2 come together, and whoever wins in that ends up becoming the Nevada state champion. So I figure that was one of his accomplishments. That he also had a 1 second. Excuse me. He also had a chess club as well. So that was really cool. Yeah. Yeah, Chess Doctor, yeah, he's cool. I watched his Twitch chat. He's a really cool guy. Let's see here. Oops, there we go. There we go. Gotcha, back in. But you have to always your moves, the moves that you guys play, have to have multitude of ideas behind it. And that's the importance behind a study, is that you start to see, you look at games like we're looking at this game, Khan versus Solomon. This game has an idea basis behind it. Like, we're going to start to see why they play certain moves. There's a reason they play these certain moves. Like the knight's move so that the queen can come there. Also, potentially, It also has the ability to be rerouted. Let's say he goes here, he can reroute here and then in. So you always got to think, if you get a pawn here, can we get a knight there? Yeah, it would take 4 moves. First move would be here, second, third. I'm sorry, I wouldn't be able to get there, get here. But you have to kind of strategize behind that. That's why in a closed game, which is a stagnant or a static position, you can do slower moves. But in a dynamic game, which Jeremy Stillman says, you have to be fast, really hard punching. So G6 was played, and there's really no reason. You don't really have to trade in this scenario. That would actually benefit Black, because we saw what would happen is he would have the open file, so we wouldn't want to do that. You would want to play Rook C1, which is actually what our opponent did. Sorry about that. So this is, one second, I gotta get a drink of water. For some reason I got like a frog. There we go. I hate when I get a frog. It's very irritating. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's see, your line is B. Okay, Rook B. After B, A5. Okay. Knight takes A5. Bishop takes G. G takes. A take. Queen takes A. G4. Okay. And bishop G6. Bishop G6. It's already on G6. So we'll just say, we'll just say the queen comes back here, then takes, right? Is that kind of your idea? Then takes, and then F takes G, and then Black's pawns are ruined. Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying here. Irritating, but okay. But I see what you're saying, Fox. Yeah. So he takes. I went too far. Oh, I got you. Okay, so here. Okay. Maybe this is what I'm missing here. Okay, there. Wait a second. One. Okay. Here. Okay. There. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying. Gotcha. Okay, so B. Here. There. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Then you have F4. Yeah, F4 is an idea for white. Yeah, I gotcha. I feel you. You have here F4. You even have castle kingside. Then potentially F4, queen. You may even have B4, A4, A5, and then get these guys storming up the board. Yeah. That is true. It wrecks his structure. But they see, like, this is an interesting position. White slightly has an advantage. Let's see if I'm right. Slight advantage. Let's see. No, oh wow, black has the advantage. It's probably because of the crampedness of the position. So castle kingside. Bishop takes, because you really don't at this point. If you're going to want a castle on that side, you don't really want to have a weak H pawn. I don't mind weak H squares, because That allows, but see, then the queen has scope on that, so you just got to be very on guard for those things. So g3, yeah, it's equal. g6. And this is all possible, guys. This type of structure is okay for one purpose and one purpose only. No bishops on the board. It's a closed game. It's a semi-open game because, or semi-closed. It all depends on how you want to look at it from which side. Semi-open for white and basically semi-closed for black, if you want to think about it, because how the center's closed. So this is more of a maneuvering game. So black's going to want to maneuver his knights. And so black's going to try to maybe do something like knight here, here, you know, maybe get his other knight there and something like that. You know, just to outpost them on squares that they can... Oh, you don't understand g3? Well, g3 is a very defensive. Knight g3 it's a defensive move. It's preparing so that later on, if he wants to, he can push h5. Right, it does. But remember, this is a closed game. Oops, come on. So placements of your knights are really important, and this guards a lot of vital. So if the knight ever went here, the knight could just snap it off. So knight g3 prevents the knight from indirectly at this moment going for f4 to attack the queen. So different ideas. You know, it's this actually knight g3 is a really well placed knight in this type of a structure. I prefer Khan's position in this. I was actually very happy when he played knight g3. It's unusual, but that's the creativity behind it, creativeness behind it. So something like that you can just play there, but you actually got to be careful. You can't play there. My bad. Gotta get rid of that because then you lose your knight. So what you'd have to do is potentially you can push. And at this point, you would want to drop back, and you want to wait till that happens. I can see what you're saying, Fox, about knight being oddly placed, but there's always purposes behind this. Wow, I can't believe black did that. Yikes. Yeah, that's a crazy move. Can't believe black did that. He just totally wrecked his whatever advantage he had. That's actually kind of the idea, is to come here, potentially get a rook here and then a knight there. But I mean, sorry, rook, get a rook there and then a knight there. But that just destroyed his position. If black had any chance of counterplay, it's gone. This is actually what the idea is. Yeah. Yeah. Very smart move by retreating this out, because if the guy tries this, then you just lock down. If he tries over here, at that point you could just lock this for right now. But actually that wouldn't be a good move, so you probably would have to play probably here. Actually, you don't have to push now that I think about it. You can just move here. Yeah, erase b4. This is actually the best move. And then later on he has these two entry points. He doesn't have to worry about pushing. That provokes a weakness here if you do that, so you don't want to do that. And that actually really Khan's position is now dominating. It's totally a domination position. Now b4 does make sense after this move here, because then you can now get in behind and start dropping a knight there after b4, knight here, rook in, and you can even get a rook potentially here as well, and then just crunch the center. But it's all if you get. I know you guys start feeling the slow entanglement that Khan's setting his opponent up for. He's slowly maneuvering his knights. Patience. He's waiting for the right time to bring that Thor's hammer, as I call it, down upon his opponent's head. So that when it's the right moment, you spring the trap, and then it's all over, and it's just see you later. Let's play another game. Rook b5. I'm surprised. I know why he did that, doubling up here. Now b4 is a forced idea. You have to do b4. There is that Solomon actually provoked him to play that. So now it's all or none for Khan. But this actually helped if you think about it. Khan, he now has the idea of dropping c5. If knight takes c5, d takes c5, and he's got a passed pawn on the c5 pawn, and this rook's totally very disgusting looking. It's like, really, what are you doing if a pawn's here? What's really your purpose now? You have to move all the way back, and what did you accomplish? Nothing. You actually helped me. Thank you. So d8 was played, and the knight comes in. Don't force. There's no reason to force this. Don't force these two ideas. Remember, it's a closed game. The feel of, remember, closed games call for boa constricting. Think of yourself as a boa constrictor when you're in a closed game. You slowly sneak up on your opponent, then you get them, and then you slowly squeeze until they're done. And that's kind of in these positions. I'm learning that. I know it's sounded kind of brutal, but that's kind of what it is in closed games. You're slowly maneuvering. Khan's taking away the squares. You're getting the feeling like black's slowly losing space. Every move that black makes, Khan's moving closer and closer to victory. And at the right moment, boom, it's over. It may take 30 moves for that to happen, but they wait. And at the right moment, when you make that small inaccurate move, it builds until basically the resignation happens. So that's why Karpov was a master of positional play. Was he knew how to bind up the opponent's position so tight that his opponent actually destroyed himself. He imploded his opponent. His opponent destroyed himself because of lack of space. And you don't want to trade. If you're cramping your opponent, don't trade pieces. Your opponent's going to try to trade pieces. Just keep the tension, keep the pressure. Remember that. C5 is actually a good move. You're saying, but wait, didn't you just say don't trade? Yeah, that's right. You don't want to trade, but in this scenario, it's actually beneficial that. Oh wow, he took that way. I guess that is okay now that we think about it, because he now can actually play C. Well, he gets an open file, doesn't he? I don't know how I feel about that. Let's see what the computer says. Yeah, I don't really prefer con opening up like that. I like more taking like that. I think what he was afraid of is the giving surrendering the center, but in reality, this is more of a strangle hold on your opponent because he's probably thinking, "What about that? You really can't do that because you win a pawn." So well, Black's gonna have to for a long while. If he plays something like this here, he really can't play there for a little bit. So now this knight is kind of disgustingly placed. So the knight basically would have to come here and try to barricade off that spot. And right about now would be, you'd probably want to bring your rook over here. If the knight came here, then you can, well, you can't push now that I think about it, because that would be lost. So what could he play? Well, maybe here and there. That actually helps out Black, though, because he trades off. Interesting. We'll just see what Khan's idea is. He didn't want to, in my opinion, I think he was afraid of surrendering the center. That was kind of the idea. Fear is also something you have to be weary of, that you don't get afraid. Timid, actually. A lot of timid. You can be so active, and then all of a sudden you have a couple timid moments, scared moments, and you throw away your entire advantage. It's like, and then you shake your head and go, "Why did I play that?" And then you realize, I was afraid of what? And it's like, really? So that's why the Aikido principle of letting your opponent overextend, it applies totally in chess. F4 was played, which is a really strong, deep move. This cramps everything. Now if he plays here, it's really bad for Black. If he plays here, that's what White wants, because if you think about it, now he has time to. Oops, sorry. Let me do that right. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I had to make all those points correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here we go. Also, this is a weak point at that point as well. Oops. Sorry about that. My finger slipped. Hold on. We have to get some of it. Alright, here we go. Perfect. Okay, sorry about that. My finger slipped on that. That was my fault there. There we go. So F4 was played. Yeah. There we go. And in comes now Khan feels like it's okay to pull the trigger, as they say in chess. That this one pawn is very important, and it can't be reached by Black. So this one pawn on C3 is holding all these guys together. So the king moves, in comes the king. Now there's a potential rook, or knight. Let's see. Oh, knight takes D. Gotcha. Knight takes D. He takes D. Oh, I got you instead. Okay. I see what you're saying. I got you. I see what you're saying. Before he moves here. Okay. Let's take a look. No, it would work. Yes, and remember, in a close game though, guys, don't be so in a rush to do sacrifices or trades. Just slowly play the game. You know, learn patience. Patience is huge when it comes to close games. That's one thing that my teacher taught me was I used to be really wanting to, smash and trash and destroy, my opponent's position. And I even thought about sacrifices like that. And he told me that, he says, tell me why would you sacrifice in a closed game like that? And I say, I want to open up the position and, get my pawns going. But does it call for that? And I'm like, call for that? What do you mean call for that? Does the board call for that? And I was like, I looked at it like, huh. I was for a second what I was improving. I'm like, huh, call for that. And then I realized no, it doesn't, because what happens is I just traded a piece for two pawns, and it's a knight that I gave up, and my knight would have been better in this closed endgame, and then he explained to me why it wasn't why doing that wasn't the best idea. And so I learned the power of knights that way, and the power of endgame. And so that's kind of when I started falling in love with endgame play, was when I trained with my teacher. So trust me, when you get a teacher that clicks with you for life, you will be able to find. It's hard sometimes to find a teacher like that, but when you do, man, your progress will accelerate. So king e7, and then the rook. Khan's kind of maneuvering around. Now you see the problem with having a pawn here. Kind of would have been nice to have it something else, a little different. He has to worry about this weakness here. And so now it's just maneuvering. And now this pass pawn, you see how patience, Khan's patient. Very patient, very patient. And he's just, he's getting his rooks to their optimum spot, holding everything. Keep an eye on this so these things don't become passers. And now the rook comes infiltrating in. After if he checks here, it comes up, and then we come over, and then now potentially that could be like actually here, and then up, and then you have these two pawns will fall. So that's a stellar move, because if takes here, it's and then boom. You see how he set up, and at the right moment he pulled the catapult, and then he hit the rope, and in came the boulder. Boom. Takes. Check. Takes. I can't believe he did that. Really, that's kind of interesting. I can't understand that. Oh, I see why then smacked the pawn. Okay. He kind of has to do that now. End game. Boom. It's all over for black now. Black should just resign. This is impossible to defeat. this type of structure. It's over, all over. Good game. I'm glad you brought that one, Fox. That was really cool. No, it's not that. It's just you have to be patient with your end game studies. It's so enticing to actually go for, a sacrifice like that. You just have to. It's just patience that you have to learn. That's one thing I have. That's one thing that my teacher taught me was patience. That's better. Okay, and the reason Aronian guys knows how to do that, like what Foss just said, is this: he trains, he studies, and so like that's why we're gonna start getting back to the very basis of what the grandmasters do to become great. They do more study rather than play like 5 minute, 10 minute, 15. They do more. Even if you play a 25-minute game, they're more study than I think it was Andrew Martin who he had one on how to improve. I think it was I'm not exactly sure if it's the series, the Foxy series or something like that. The Fox series. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but he has one tape in there that's called "How to Improve Chess." How to improve in chess, your rating. And he says that one thing he knows when chess players are ready to make the next jump to the next level, like maybe C to B to D. No, I'm sorry, C to B to A and expert and onward. By how much time they spend in studies on either databases, tactics, or just tapes in general, like YouTube's, those type of stuff. That he says that you have to do it's like 90-10. You switch instead of 90% of your time doing chess games online. You switch that inverse that is 90% study, 10% games. And when you do that, it just makes practical sense that you're going to improve because you're going to be doing more study. It just makes sense. So let's look at this and study this position here. And it also honors the Lord with the talents that He's given you to use as well. So let's see here. So the rook moved from A8 to C8. See, rook. You have to remember if two rooks are on the same, you have to put down which rook moved and where it moved to. When I first was beginning, I didn't understand that when I did notation, so I was like, which rook went where? And so that's the cool thing about. So it'd be the A rook moves to D8, and then you know that this rook was the one to move. Let's see here. Queen A4 is important. Queen A4, Queen A4. Huh. Queen A4. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Taking looks tempting, but he has a queen check, and then you lose your queen after the king moves. So if you take here and it looks tempting, then you check, you move, and then that comes over and grabs it. So don't don't think that it's taking because you'll actually lose a queen for a rook, and you don't want that to happen. b5. There you go. I was thinking exactly that move. That's strong, but let me see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So the queen's got to move. Yeah, because that was correct. Because if he plays here, then you come. Oops, my rats. That's not right. Let me see if he plays here. And I think you win I believe you win a rook at that point. Yeah, yeah, you just demolish. Yep. Good find there. Do 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 do. Okay. I think the first move we have to do is, let's see here. Yeah, because if we take here, he takes there, we go there, he takes, we check, we intercept there, and he wins our rook. So we can't do that. And we can't even intercept there because the bishop's there, so I guess we could flee, couldn't we? See here, there, 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 check. We'd have to flee, and then he snaps off our rook. Let's give it a go. Can't go there because of that. Yeah, you were right on that, Fox, on the takes. I had to go through the calculation on that one. Drat, this bishop really puts a kink in things, doesn't it? It's trying to get here, so we know that for sure. Maybe we just take, now that we think about it. We take. You can't, once this is played here, you can't. You can't play there after that. And there's no way to stop. My guess, potentially, he could win our queen. Oh, yeah, that would not be sweet. Ouch, yeah. No, that doesn't work. I think we lose there. Trying to figure out though. Can't do that yet. I'm thinking potentially it might be that. Hmm. Yeah, I like D1. I see. Oh, you were right. You were right with E2. You were right with it. You were right with E2. Yeah. Dang, that was a good find there. Good find on that. You did that. You were right on that one. I was like, huh. That was a tough one. Now I that actually does work. Okay. Oh, you want to see? You want to see what happens? Okay. We lose our queen. Yeah, we lose the queen. Ouch, that hurts. That hurts. That's not fun. Not one bit. Gotta say, that was an excellent spot, though, guys. That was great. We take here. If knight comes here, queen takes, bishop takes, and takes. I think we're up in exchange at that point. let's see, here. Because if we play here, he could play there. We take, he takes, we take, he takes. So he would have this, 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 and we would have this, let me see, this, and this would be our units that we have left. Wait a second, I'm sorry, he would have this left. I apologize right here. I think we're up an exchange at that point, and a pawn. So I'm not sure. Let's see if we play here. He takes. Yeah, I don't think it's wise to allow our king to be pried open like that. I think we actually are up in exchange at the end of the line. So do you want to go with that? Because this here, king takes, queen takes, and he's got enough counterplay with his pieces to actually he can castle queenside, bring a rook out and mate us. So I believe it's safer to take. What do you think? The line's at least clearer than we get to exchange off the queens, and we're a rook up for a bishop. So yeah. There we go. Boom. Yes, sir. You gotta love it. So if we check here, if he goes here, and we take, he comes up. One sec, I'll be right back. think we also win the rook too. So if we check here, he moves there. We play bishop takes rook. If king comes up, we play bishop takes knight. So for this bishop gobbles that and that. See, we gobble here, and then we gobble there. There we go. Otherwise, when we take here, if we take here, he can come up here, and then we take, and then he takes, and then we lose the protection of the a pawn. So we have to gobble. And even if he comes up and we do this, and let's say that he takes here, we're still good enough to to get our rooks involved, like just doubling up here, and we're still fine. But he's right, you get in behind this, and if you push here, now you can get here and stop it. But okay, we'll get on to that. Perfect. Good job. Let's see here. See, rook takes knight. I think if we take here, he takes here, we take there, he takes, we take check, king moves up, then we come back and grab the pawn, I think. Oh, queen c5. Oh, interesting. That's even better. Oh yeah, even better. Nice. Yeah, nice. That's that. Oh wow, let's see here. We play the queen intercepts. Excuse me. Let me see here. We do have a check after that, don't we? So if we come here, he comes there, we take, check. But this is hanging at that point. I don't know. No, this doesn't work because that ends in mate. Yeah, this is very interesting. trying to see if we played there, what do we get? What do we get? I think we're down in exchange at that point. So here, there. And we'd have this. That's what would be left. So we wouldn't win anything. Wow. It's okay. Puzzling here. I'm trying to see if takes here. Knight takes. Check. Queen comes there. Takes. King comes up. Check. Comes up there. Knight takes. Sorry, knight takes. Takes. I think we'd be down in a whole rook at that point. I actually like bishop f5. Thinking bishop f5 might be the move. If rook comes there, then we can actually play pawn push, attacking the rook. And if it comes here, we play bishop takes knight, knight, and then queen takes. So I believe it's bishop f5 if I'm not mistaken. Now that I think about it. But he does have there, doesn't he? Huh. Yeah, you know what? Everything's fine. We'll figure it out. We always do. Ooh, wait a second. Why not just play there? That's an idea. Queen attacks the rook. And if rook comes up, then we have a bishop. What do you guys think? Here, attacks there. I think it might, now that we think about it, might be that. And then if he comes there, we can come in with check. And then if rook intercepts, we take. Well, knight takes. And then we push. Huh. I think it's something to do with that. That makes a lot of sense. Because even if he plays here, we can take there. But I don't know. I don't see it. Well, we do have that at that point. So if we played here, here, there, check. Interesting. There's gotta be something more that we're missing here. Trying to see what does this. So let's take Aikido principle. What's the drawback to that move? And this is weird. Let's give that a shot. Huh. Oh, double checkmate. I don't know why I didn't see that. I missed that totally. For some reason I was blind on that. That is pretty bad. That's blind. I don't know what was going on there. Wow. Yeah, because this is totally me. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Well, you know what's so funny? We have the big joke is we have now. We've seen it before now. It's like Yeah. Let's see. Takes here. Let's open him up like a tin can. Oh, you want to look at your line? Okay, not a problem. Oops, my bad. Let's restart that again so we do 100% no X's. Let's see. C5, E, takes. The F, that one isn't the correct line. So, but we'll give it a shot anyways. That actually allows it to go back. So we can't do that. So we have to have a check. It comes up. Now your bishop idea works. Now the bishop idea works, Fox. Then when it comes back, you bring the check. It comes down here. You come up. Now you're attacking here. Smack. Smack. And then you yeah. So it's actually better for black to move towards away from the pawn, but he didn't do that. Yeah. You know what? We learned a lot on that. That was a great learning lesson there. Okay, we gotta be careful here. Let's see. If we check there, if we take with check, so this line would be open. Double check. Wait a second. If we take here, he takes, and we win a rook. So I believe it's queen takes, check, queen takes, pawn takes, king takes. So here, there, and we win a rook. Okay, if here he moves, we take, he takes, and then we take. So queen takes pawn is the we win a rook in that process. Do you guys see that? What do you think? Just one thing I gotta check real quick. Oops. Sorry, I go to puzzles. So yeah, before that comes up. So rook takes. Well, no, in this, but see, we have to do this. You're right. Let's see. Takes. He moves. Takes. Takes. Yeah, you're right. He does have an inner meso move, doesn't he? want to make sure everything is going okay. Well, if he doesn't, let's say here, he moves, check. And that's mate. Yeah. I think that does win. Yeah, because if he doesn't take, and let's say he moves here, right? We go here, he goes there, and then I think that's mate. If well, not mate, close to mate, and that's mate. Yep. Good job, guys. One more. Then I got a log. Oy, oy, oy. Oy, oy, oy. Let me see here. I was thinking this, but he could just take there, takes, queen takes, and then takes, and it's equal material, so we have to find something different. Let's see, if we play knight takes bishop, queen takes bishop. Okay, here, there. There is potentially a rook takes, and then bishop takes there, that intercepts, and then rook takes attacks the queen. But I don't know if that's what they're actually. Well, let me see. Nope. Let's see, if we go here, he takes there. He takes, queen takes, queen comes check. Queen goes there. Takes, and Let's see here. That's what I was looking at here. There. There. Here. And C6. That's actually what I was looking at. I was just like, is there anything more though that we're missing? What? Interesting. Yeah, that does make sense, doesn't it? So let's see here. There. There. Okay, that's interesting. So here, 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 there. Oops, you can't go there, my bad. So he's only got that. So you're right. That is it. Yep, that's right. Yep, that's right. Right. Good job. I believe that's. I think there's only one square you can go to, and it's there after takes. R just takes and we win. Yeah. Good job. Good job, guys. Well, we'll stop there. And that tells you right there, some of those moves are right in front of your face. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, Fox, for the game. And thank you all for coming on and spending time, doing tactics with me and stuff. And guys, you know what? Just remember, keep studying chess. The most temptingest thing is to actually play a game. It's fun to do that, but remember, 90% study, 10% games, and trust me, your rating will improve. Andrew Martin talked about that, Grandmaster Andrew Martin. So what we I think he's I think he's a grandmaster. I'll have to check that. I want to make sure. And so, you know what? Just remember to do that and you'll get better. And remember, you know what? Learn from your mistakes. If you do play a game, you lose, go back, find out where you made a mistake, use Jeremy Silman's principle, get better. Remember always that there's plans in the position. You just have to find it, and that's the one thing that's the hardest thing to do, is to slow down and find it. So fast games, like my teacher told me, really you get more instinct more than strategy, tactics, and all that. So just keep that in mind when you do fast games. Longer games, if you are going to do games, are the best so that you can think. And remember, like as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus. And as I say, God bless, guys, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Remember, keep doing good, okay? You guys are doing great. Every day is an accomplishment. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and be blessed, okay? Bye-bye, guys.